What is going on YouTube? This is my very first video on my new channel, Sharks Auto. I guess for now I'll go by Sharks. I didn't really have a script in place for this video, but I figured I'd do something to introduce myself. You know, if you don't want to watch an introduction video and just get straight to some content I can upload, there should already be my second video up on the channel, so you can just jump straight to that if you want to. This one might be a little bit boring, but who I am is I'm just a guy who's been into cars for what, over so probably since I was 12 years old, so well over a decade now, and I've been researching them and learning about them. I have an educational background in astrophysics and computer science and a little bit of AI management for my master's. So I guess I had somewhat of a related education through the physics part of it, but not as much as somebody who did maybe engineering or something. But that being said, I've had a passion for cars for a very long time, and I've also been thinking about doing something like YouTube for a very long time as well. It actually started off with a blog and then a TikTok and now a YouTube channel. The blog started off with my girlfriend's idea. I think she probably got tired of hearing me rattle on about cars to her, so she suggested that I get my own outlet like a blog and put some information out there. And I'm fairly new to all of this. I think I've only made 4 TikToks, my very first YouTube video, as I said. I do have a few blog posts that I am somewhat, I guess, proud of, not entirely, if I'm being honest with you. But I figure you never know what can happen until you try, so that's why I'm starting off on YouTube. So again, I apologize if this is boring. I'm still figuring this out, but I think it's better to take imperfect action than take no action at all. Or what some people say is that slow motion is better than no motion. But anyways, I guess to start, I'll show you guys my blog. This is my blog, Sharks Auto, and it's a website I built entirely myself in WordPress with some themes and a little bit of help from AI. I am an AI guy, so I guess it makes sense that I would have used AI to build this thing, but this is just I guess a rough landing page. It's nothing too crazy. The meat and potatoes of the site is in the blog. There is a way to contact me on here. You can send me an email, but you could also just send an email to sharksauto@gmail.com because half the time the contact thing in here doesn't work, and I really don't know why. I assume it's because I use a free version instead of the paid version. But what I wanted to show you was the blog section. So this is what the blog section of the website looks like, and you can see all the different blog posts that I've made. And they started off pretty rough. Actually, to be honest with you, they're probably pretty still damn rough. But I started off kind of talking about cars I was interested in at the time. I randomly went through a phase where I'm interested in the Pilot. To be honest with you, I still kind of am interested in a Honda Pilot. I just can't afford it because, well, I'm not rich, or rather, I'm not even middle class. But we'll talk about that maybe another day. A car I'm really interested in is a Civic Si. You know, this year I have an opportunity to become a middle class person. Maybe I'll buy this. They start off with car reviews. Then I started off making an educational article about NA engines, and this one, for some reason, got a lot of traction on Google. When I say a lot of traction, I simply mean that it appeared on the 3rd page instead of like the 200th page. But it seems that there was an interest in kind of educational content, people trying to learn about it, which I understand. Then I started to do a little bit more educational content with limited slip diffs. You can see most of the recent ones are educational in nature, power to weight ratios, different drivetrains. This was kind of an opinion piece that I'll probably make a YouTube video about. That second YouTube video that I mentioned that should be up right now will probably be about power to weight ratios. And then maybe a later date, eventually I'll make a YouTube video about each of these. The way for me I find it kind of works is when I write these articles, they're each researched to a certain extent. And what I find that does is when you research something and write about it, I can make a TikTok off of it pretty easily without having to think too much. Like I don't necessarily need to spend a ton of time writing a script or anything. I can just sit down in 15 minutes, record a TikTok, and half an hour edit it. And I'm pretty certain YouTube is going to work the same way. I'll pick one of these articles, do a quick review of it, and pop it into a YouTube video, turn it into a script, and do a little bit of editing. Like I said, I'm still figuring this whole thing out as I'm very new to this. If you're still here in the video, you know, props to you for suffering through it and making it this far. I honestly don't think I would have made it this far in someone else's YouTube video if they were just like me. But I won't keep you guys here too much longer, so I'll get to, I guess, the brunt of it later on. I don't even know what that sentence meant, but again, props to you if you didn't visibly cringe when you heard it. So the YouTube videos I'll be uploading will be closely tied to these articles, and I think this is where the bulk of my time has been that I've invested into Sharks Auto has been on this website and this blog. There's easily probably more 4 or 5 like full work days invested into this, and I am starting a 9 to 5 this year, so I have no idea how I'm gonna do a blog, YouTube, and TikTok while also working a 9 to 5. But you know, maybe if the TikTok starts to do better or the YouTube starts to do better, I'll pour more time into those and less time into the blog. But I think with the general workflow I have right now, it makes sense, where I kind of research something, write an article about it, that becomes a script for the video. Writing an article about it is, I guess, doesn't add too much time to what I would do to research before making a video anyways, and this is another avenue for people to find me. You know, maybe if it blows up one day I can make some money off of it. That would be really cool. You know, some of the inspirations I've had over time has been, you know, maybe old YouTube channels and stuff, but I'll talk about those in a bit. This is my TikTok. You can see there's only 5 videos or 6 videos. The first 4 videos over here I'm not too proud of. They were literally just me talking over a random clip I found, whereas these guys I put a little bit more time into, and I think you can see the views are a lot better, I guess, for that reason. Or I record myself playing some racing game, maybe Assetto Corsa or one of the Need for Speeds, and then I just put some images up on the top. If you guys have ever seen Bladed Angel on YouTube, I guess this is kind of his style, and you know, I take a lot of inspiration from him. I used to watch him back in high school. And you know, he's doing great now. I mean, I think he just beat cancer, which is awesome, and he's back to uploading again, which is great. And I also have an Instagram over here that I wanted to show you guys. Again, nothing too crazy. It's just most of my TikToks are reposted here. Most of them probably have 0 views, as you can probably tell. Yeah. So Instagram's been having a little bit of a rougher time than TikTok, but I'm just getting started. You know, you got to do this stuff probably for about a year before you start to see progress. I guess, you know, some of the inspirations I had, I've told you I've been into cars since I was a kid. I have a very distinct memory of me being in like grade 6 or grade 7, which is age, I believe, 12 or 13 here, I think I had to write a report for the first time, and I chose to write it about the Lamborghini Aventador, which at the time, that was that car. If you had that car, you were that guy, where you'd see that car on the street and go crazy. Kind of still is. So the Aventador has, you know, kind of an unrivaled street presence, I think. But since then, it kind of just spiraled, and I kept going deeper and deeper into cars and learning. And I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but I think after being into cars for more than a decade, I've developed some opinions, some perspectives. I know some information that other people, probably younger than me or even older than me, would find valuable. Like, you know, I have unique opinions, and I think a lot of people don't realize how much they actually know about a topic, and how much they can share, and how much people would relate to you. And if you're watching this kind of wondering if you should upload a YouTube video, stop thinking and just start doing. You know, imperfect action is better than no action at all. That's a shout out to Higher Up Wellness on TikTok. He's probably my favorite TikToker. Go follow him if you don't. And then, you know, growing up in high school, I think some of my biggest inspirations for this stuff were the old Muscleverse Tuner YouTube channel, where that was what RSpec Ryan, Bobby, and Jake. And since then, they've broken up. I think they had a falling out of some sort. And Bobby, I don't think is doing too well anymore, but I haven't checked in on Ryan or Jake in a long time. Guitarmageddon ZL1 and Street Speed 717, I think, were the ones that came after that, started to follow regularly. And I think Street Speed really opened me up to a lot of other YouTubers when he did those YouTube call-out events. And then him and It's Just a Six kind of had a fight. And after, this was a while ago, I don't even fully remember it, but I think It's Just a Six came to his event. He was just getting started. He was getting a GoFundMe together to help build his car up for the event, and it blew up at the event, and Street Speed commented and said something about nobody wants to watch a GoFundMe build, but It's Just a Six was really doing that to show up to his event in its first place, and that was the day I stopped being a Street Speed fan and started being an It's Just a Six fan. I always had guys like Cletus popping up on my feed every now and then. I'd watch his videos, but I think the guy I probably related to the most was It's Just a Six. I still relate to him a lot. I just haven't watched his channel a bit. We're similar in age. Similar guy to myself, I honestly think. And since then, I have followed his channel regularly for years. Guys like Bladed Angel and stuff are always on my radar since high school. And now I finally decided, you know, I'll start doing something myself. I don't yet have a car, but I'm starting, you know, my first 9 to 5 this year. Hopefully I'll get enough money together to buy a car that is worth driving, worth making videos for. And at this point, I guess this whole video is yapping, so I'm going to stop right here. Thank you so much for watching. If you can find it in your heart to not cringe horrifically at this video, or you found it in your heart to not cringe horrifically at this video, you know, go ahead and subscribe, or, you know, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you and even find out who you are. If you want, check out my blog. I'll link, you know, my blog down in the description. And like I said, if you want to see more, there will be my second video about probably power to weight ratios uploaded already. Thank you guys so much for watching.